Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
Sleeping all day, chief and rolling, 50 old gangs, about to lose it. The body's on fire. Ooh, love me long till you get tired. Ooh, baby, you got what I. You's a real one, I'm inspired. Break me off and get you, yeah, yeah, when the lights is out. I'm summertime, pushing, put that game on pause. And do it how I like it, baby, nice and slow. Ooh, break me off and get you, yeah, yeah, when the lights is out. I'm summertime, pushing, put that game on pause. And do it how I like it, baby, nice and slow. My knees get weak when
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the show where we get into all of the trending topics and headlines with context. Now listen, today's stories, this is one of those days where the internet didn't just wake up. The internet chose chaos. They threw on lashes and hit go live because they had something to say. We are talking streamer drama that has turned into a whole hip-hop conversation with threats. Tichina Arnold is telling the type of dating truth that makes people sit up a little straighter, lean forward, and take notice. And Cam Newton is out here admitting that he runs tests on the women that he dates. Plus, we got a little Laker custody situation update. So, if you are driving, keep it cute, right? I know you got your snacks already, so don't gag. And, of course, put that phone on D&D because we're getting to some things tonight. But before we do, a couple of conversation starters. And this one is for California as a whole, my LA drivers especially. Okay? Speeding in LA has just gotten a high-tech upgrade. Sit up and pay attention, okay? LA drivers, the city is saying, oh, you like to speed? Cool. We got you. Smile for the camera. We had red light cameras. We've had those for a while, right? A new system is dropping, right? It is a pilot program called Speed Safety System AB645. And they are rolling out speeding tickets with cameras under the new law, meaning that your mailbox, you weren't even stopped, but you can get clocked for speeding, right? It's going to be for 5 years, and they are placing it in high-risk zones like schools, parks, construction areas, senior sitters, busy, commercial areas, right? And tickets start at over 11 miles per hour, $50 for 11 to 15 miles per hour over. Remember, they add fines and fees and stuff on these charges. $100 for 16 to 25, $200 for 26 to 99, and $500 for 100 miles and over. Glendale already has the cameras activated, so if you guys are out there, look out, right? And the LA project is set to get underway mid-2026, okay? And Right now, they said the first 60 days after the system is implemented, you'll get a warning. But here's the thing, too. If you are caught multiple times by speeding cameras, they can take away your license. So it's a lot going on, all right? You need to recognize your car is now in a relationship with the algorithm. Andy?
I feel like the Waymos are already doing that.
What do you mean? Reporting?
100%. Driving. Yo, like, why am I seeing Waymos 3 o'clock in the morning? I swear every time I step out, I be dipping. I be driving around.
You
I'm
just
outside.
be moving, right?
I be moving.
You're shaking.
And it just seems like every time I leave a venue, I arrive home, I see a Waymo driving by.
How come people can't be moving and shaking just like you are?
That's fair. But me and my conspiracy way of thinking, I just personally believe that you have a lot of these Waymos that are doing surveillance. They're surveilling the community. They're surveilling everything.
I mean, they could be. They have cameras all the way around.
Exactly. Why wouldn't
They're
they?
taking information. We know data is king.
Do you know?
Data is the current priority everywhere.
LAPD is like, yo, let's go send this Waymo over here in this neighborhood just to see if it's cool, and then we'll arrive.
I was surprised at the number of Waymos I see in this area by the studio.
Let me tell you something.
Legitimately surprised.
There's a station, I want to say. I don't know if it's a car wash station. It's right on Century. I don't know what the cross street is.
It might be a charging station.
Okay, well then that's where I see a lot of the Waymos at. So maybe that's the reason. We're not too far from that spot. So,
well, something's up. So LA drivers, be on the lookout. They will be ticketing you by camera from now on. So be careful. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You said that I've been acting different, yeah. Funny how I finally flipped the script on ya. When you the one who's double dipping, yeah. You so sloppy how I caught you slipping, You're off the lease. Run me my keys.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So, I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If I had you back, I wouldn't have did all that. I would have played it just how you wanted to play it. You didn't yet see my worth, so you tried to play me. But I was so in love, that I just got a little bit too complicated. But if I had you back, all I wanna do is get drunk, take. All I wanna do is get drunk, hop planes. All us, it would be no love.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Love Summer's little problematic self. I really do. She's a good songwriter. All right, listen, you know how this goes down. If you're new here, if you want to get in on the conversation, 800-920-1580. That's the number that you can call to share your opinion. Download the app. You can catch up on past episodes there. Hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Holla at your girl. Say hi. Or get the visual to go along with this audio experience. Jump into the YouTube chat. That's our community. They are family. They are opinionated. There's a whole lot of conversation that happens there. So get into that. Now, let's start off with some dating conversation, because I feel like all of these topics tonight touch on bits of interpersonal dynamics in relationships, especially interracial ones, right? So that is my setting the table. Okay. So Tichina Arnold recently revealed on Dion Cole's podcast that she once dated Brian Austin Green. Now, if you don't know who that is, he was on 90210 back in the day. He has children with Vanessa Marcel, Megan Fox, and he used to date one other high-profile brunette beauty, right? So Tichina revealed that she was taught, I guess, or figured out a reality about legacy when she was dating Brian, right? So I can't play the clip for you because it's heavily profanity laced.
Thank you, Joe.
Shout out to Andy. You know, we work him hard enough. We don't need to make extras, you know. So, but it's out there. So she casually revealed that she used to date him. And she said she ended the relationship the moment she realized how the story usually ends. The podcast is called Funny Knowing You, right? And she said that she ultimately believed that he would not end up with a black woman, that he would share his riches and legacy with someone white. So she said, I'm getting off this train, right? She described him as kind. She said it was a valuable experience, but she affirmed that she's primarily attracted to black men, and that, she knew that the relationship was only going to go so far, and that he was indulging in a moment, per se. Now, let me take you back to the 90s for a second because I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of his character from 90210. But I know, like, he was a geeky character on 90210, right? But he was musically inclined. I think in real life his father is a musician or something like that. So he was on the hip-hop scene. So like a lot of actors at that time.
David Silver.
That was the character's name. Exactly. David Silver. And like his dad, I think, ended up marrying Kelly's mom, and he had a crush on Kelly. That's Jeannie Garth's character. All of these things. Very early 90s stuff, right? So he would be outside in the hip hop clubs. I would remember seeing them. Yeah, like he rapped a little bit and stuff. And he, he had that swagger that I don't know why we always do this. This connects to a story we're going to talk about in a second. We always invite somebody to the cookout, right? At that time, Brian would have got invited to the cookout. He had a little bit of swag. He was rapping. He was at the clubs. You know what I mean? He was giving a little something.
He was on his Marky Mark and the Funky
He
Bunch.
was, yeah. 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 Talk about it. Yeah. He was a little bit. And there's a couple like David Faustino from Bud from Married with Children. He's another one that was outside in the clubs like that. The music, you got to think of the music that was coming up at that time. That was NWA on the rise, Snoop, all of those things when hip hop was starting to take over. And they, like a lot of other white kids, were infatuated with it, inspired by it. And so they were outside. Forrest Harrison in the chat says Brian was Malibu's most wanted. Not quite that corny, but you get the vibes. This is what I'm saying. He was in these like kind of underground-ish hip-hop clubs and things like that. So she's not lying, right? He was there. So it may seem strange now, but in the 90s, like, there were a couple of them that would venture off into these spaces. So she's speaking a reality that a lot of black women clock early, right? For some, now here's the twist. They usually direct it to black men dealing with white women as black men being a fetish for white women, right? They may not think of themselves necessarily in the same way, but we know that a lot of people will hit them with, what did they used to call Kerry Washington when she was on Scandal? What is it, bedwench or something like that? Those type of things. So it's not that this idea isn't out there, but it's a very delicate conversation from both sides for obvious reasons, right? Because it goes to desirability and could someone of another race really like, know, love, and respect you for you, right? And for some, it is a bit of a tourism trip, right? Just like for some people, light skin, long hair or light skin, good hair at a period of time was a tourism trip. Do you know there's all of these things? Andy?
I just want to say, not in defense, but like, I'm attracted to a black woman. I'm dating a black woman. Isn't there a level of tourism? I'm attracted. I'm intrigued, right? I want to get to know this person and vice versa, I'm assuming.
I mean, in a way, but not necessarily, right? A lot of this comes down to environments, how you connect with this person, and that individual's intent, right? If you are okay with just having fun and, being a phase for anyone really, that's your business and that's cool. But if you are looking for something deeper and this person is just, again, this goes from very basic level, not looking for a serious relationship to not looking for a serious relationship with you, you got to do what you need to do to protect your peace, as they say, and recognize those moments. We don't, not everyone is revealing to that. She didn't say that he said anything or did anything or treated her in any type of fashion. That is just what she kind of read in the tea leaves. And ultimately, she wasn't wrong because, at least publicly facing, we haven't seen Brian with another black woman since. Right?
So they was out in the public too?
He took her to a red carpet premiere for like a big movie at the time.
Okay.
So they weren't like a couple, but you have to think too, at that time, that's a big deal, but it's not as if we had social media then, so everyone saw the pictures on who was on the red carpet with whom and those type of things. It was a little different at that point in time, right? Pretty Brown Mimi says, Jill, didn't Justin Timberlake date a few black women back in the day? He did, but kind of similarly, he ended up with Jessica Biel, right? He public-faced with Britney Spears. A lot of people looking back on it felt that Justin Timberlake, when he was flirting with Free on 106 in Park or things like that, was really leaning into the fact that, you know, we supported our John B's, you know, that we, and by we, I mean black women specifically, some thought or think, and I mean, it's been expressed that we are, you know, under-desired in some ways, in a wholesome, healthy way, not sexualized desire, because there's a difference, be clear, right? So they felt that Justin, by flirting, played into that, and he did, and it worked a little bit, you know? It worked a little bit. The jury's still out, I guess, on if he faked all of those things. I don't think that he did, but I don't know personally, right? We certainly know what Britney accused him of in her memoir, saying that he used the N-word. But, you know, shout out to Royal Jenkins in the chat. He said Eminem did the same thing to Free on 106 in Park, flirting. You're absolutely right. He did do that. And I feel like at that point in time, let me say this. Flirting with the host is something kind of artists are kind of told to do, to give that.
Because
so
everybody was flirting with Free.
That was going to be my next point. You know, Free looked good. She had that booty, you know, pretty woman, afro blonde, honey-coated skin. Shout out to Free, because as a side, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Free. Free was one of the first people to tell me that I had something, for lack of a better term. I was referred to her by a woman who was managing Little Kim at the time, Hillary Weston, who's a friend of mine, because Free was starting a show called Sports Chicks, and she was looking for host. And I was referred to her, and I went and met with her, and she was like, you got something. And, you know, this, I don't even know if Free remembers this. This was like 15 years ago. And that kind of gave me the confidence to keep going, even though that particular situation didn't work out. So big ups to Free. But back to Tichina. Listen, I think that it is a conversation a lot of people have, and especially on both sides, especially when it's the woman looking at black men making those choices, choosing others, or black men looking at black women saying, oh, you think you're heroes over there? Do you know, in the continued dating wars that we have very publicly in our community, you know? So there is no right answer, but there is recognizing the scenario that you are in. And that's what I feel like Tichina did. No harm, no foul. Again, she said he treated her well. He was a nice guy. She didn't mention if they are still in contact or anything, but that's what it is.
So was she going in looking for something long term, or like
not necessarily, but I mean, here's the thing, right? At some point when you're dating, and this goes back to the conversation, because you have to think Tichina married in her fairly early, in her mid to late 20s. She got married.
Wow.
So both she and Tisha, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you're going to either have to make a decision. Is this going somewhere, or is this just fun? Now, that time frame may differ from person to person, but at some point, you're going to have to make a choice, right? Whether, all right, this was fun, but now I'm wasting my time. Because what did Claudia Jordan just say? she wished that she might have slowed down or taken a closer look at some of the guys in her 20s. And if you're dating a guy that you know is never going to pop the question for whatever reason, he's not ready, he's a player, he's going to marry someone closer to mom, whatever the case may be, you know, you then have to make a decision for yourself, especially as women, if you are considering children in that mix as well, because of the biological aspects. Although you could freeze your eggs now, you know, that option wasn't readily available or cheap. Not that it is now, back in the day. So that's kind of, you know, what I think. Pretty Brown Mimi says, was John B. public with his relationships before he married his wife, a beautiful black woman? Well, I'd say so, because he was with that wife, I believe, since high school, kind of like Robin Thicke was with Paula Patton. So, you know, we've never seen, to my knowledge, John B. on the other side of that equation, right? Kind of like with Tina Marie, if you take it to a throwback, you never really saw Tina Marie in any other environment outside of black culture. You didn't see her dabbling, right? So there's some people that are of it, and there's some people that are dipping into it. It's what it is. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Baby, I had to stop for a second on the balcony. Scoping you down, you're looking fly to me. All dressed up and buying your own drinks, and that ain't right. Not that you can't handle it on your own, but you're too damn fly to drink it all alone. Can I come bubble with you? To you, I'ma make a toast. Come on, don't talk, baby, just move with me.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says progress is being made nearly a year after the Palisades fire. She reports more than 400 homes under construction and 800 approved to rebuild, with Palisades Charter High School set to reopen soon. Bass also acknowledged the ongoing trauma for displaced families, saying true healing won't happen until residents can return home. Former President Barack Obama is encouraging Chicago residents to apply for jobs at his upcoming presidential center on the city's south side. In a recent video, Obama said applications are now open through obama.org. And a judge has ruled in favor of Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul in a hate crime lawsuit involving the intimidation of a black homeowner. Raoul sued Chad and Cheryl Hampton after prosecutors say they targeted their neighbor Gregory Johnson with months of racist harassment, including hanging a lynch effigy from a tree. The court ordered the pair to pay $90,000 in damages. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Pomona with a wreck on the 60 westbound at Phillips Ranch Road. Second lane from the left has been blocked. Delays away from Reservoir. It's a 4-car pileup that they're trying to clear to the shoulder. A stall in Santa Ana. This is the 55 northbound at MacArthur Boulevard. Plugging up the middle lane. That drive is loading up out of Costa Mesa, getting away from Paularino. And out to Riverside with this crash on the 215 northbound past Blaine. They're clearing it out of the left lane. You're on the brakes from Central.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the Atlanta Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris on Sunday, the move left only 4 black head coaches among the NFL's 32 teams. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Houston's DeMeco Ryan, Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles, and Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets. Tomlin and Ryan will face each other Monday night in a first-round AFC playoff game in Pittsburgh. 6 teams are looking for a new head coach: Atlanta, Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants. Of the 6 teams with a vacancy, Tennessee and the New York Giants have never hired a black coach in their franchise history. Is this the year these two franchises realize we're in the 21st century? This Friday at 6 p.m., Out of Bounds is moving to prime time. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for 60 minutes of sports chatter with some black folks flavor. And you can be a part of the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up?
Is that you, Jeff? Oh, hi, baby. When'd you get back?
Got back just now.
I missed you.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, won't you come up and let me show you how much?
Mm-hmm. You know the flavor. Buzz me up, babe.
If you let me come inside, I'll keep you satisfied tonight. If you want me, if you need me, turn down all the lights. I'll make you feel alright tonight. Come on, I'm thinking about you. The last time we made love, and I fantasize so many things that I dream of. I wanna do.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Andy, is this intro? All right, that's what I thought. Intro had the jam. This, Let Me Be the One. Dare I say, their remake of Ribbon in the Sky is high up there. Very good. All right, listen. The chat. The chat had a lot to add for this topic. So let me give you a little bit of a sample of what's going on in there. Urban Spinster said about Brian Austin Green, he definitely had a phase. He hung out with a rapper from Far Side. I believe I can recall something like that. That makes perfect sense, right? Especially if what I'm saying is correct. And Brian's dad was a musician back in the day. One of the producers for The Far Side, John Barnes III, his father, John Barnes, was also a producer, worked with Michael Jackson and all of those people. So there could have been a bit of a connection there. So there's that. I saw a spicy comment. I think I just lost it. Where'd it go? It's Kendi. Kendi says she left the moment she realized she wasn't going to get any money. Now, Kendi, why are we assuming he wasn't generous? Why are we assuming that he was stingy? She said very clearly that the future wasn't marriage. Not that he was stiff with the coins. Why is that always the assumption that the only motive is money? I think people misunderstand wanting a financially stable, responsible man with just gold digging. I don't know. At any rate, we're going to move along from this. Shout out to y'all in the chat, though. You guys are funny. All right, listen. Next up, we are talking about this Adin Ross Doechii situation. Now, shout out to Andy because somehow I missed this one. And Andy brought it to my attention yesterday, and it's a lot happening here, all right? It is the internet's current civil war, right? Adin Ross versus Doechii. And this basically started in May of 2025, right? Adin is pushing the industry plant angle about Doechii, right? And he called her out of her name, right? Doechii dropped a record with SZA, and she spoke on the narrative of being called an industry plant. Now, Adin, for whatever reason, felt that she was directly talking to him, as if he was the only person that was running with that narrative. But, Ross responded the way that some men do when a black woman doesn't accept the disrespect. He got loud, he got messy, and he activated, right? He publicly called her all types of B's, right? And, language that is degrading. Andy?
Not talented.
Yeah.
He said all that stuff.
He's not talented. He said that she, wasn't worth the accolades that she received. Remember, Doechii kind of took over at the Grammys last year. She was like a late ad, swooped in, right? And he did this while he was on stream with Tekashi 6ix9ine present in at least one of the viral clips, right? Glasses Malone, rapper is Glasses from Compton or just LA in general? Well, West Coast rapper. Let's say that, right? He jumped in and defended Doechii in TDE. He's from Watts. Okay, my bad. No disrespect to the W, right? We're all fam here. He got into it and he was like, you're not finna be sitting up here talking S about that black woman. And he told Ross if he runs into him, there's going to be real world consequences. And maybe if it's not for him, some of these clips, there were two black guys sitting with Adin while Adin was popping mess, right? And so Glasses was like, if I can't touch you, I'll touch your friends, right? Because a lot of people felt like, who are these young men not to be standing up for this black woman, or at least, not letting him disrespect her in this fashion, right? Because that's what a lot of this is about. Joe Budden also jumped into the fray, right? He poured a little bit of gasoline on it, as he does on his podcast, saying he's rooting for Glasses Malone to gather the Crips and beat Ross up. The clip went viral. Backlash followed, right? Ross called Glasses Malone, a fat simp and says he'll involve law enforcement if approached. Here's the crazy thing. He told Joe Budden to pull up. I'll have law enforcement with me. Apparently, his security is off-duty officers. Who tells somebody to pull up? I got cops with me. Does that make you a tough guy? Is that a flex? I think it if you were saying things online to the point, right? And again, we've talked about parasocial relationships and all of that, that you need to roll out with bodyguards, because Akademiks jumped in the fray and was like, yo, he rolls like this. He got private security anywhere. The minute you try and step out, they're going to attack you. They're going to take you down. You can't touch him.
That's why he's emboldened to talk the way like he does.
Because, like Mike Tyson famously said, a lot of you people ain't got punched in the mouth. You don't know reality. You are sitting behind a computer saying things that you would never say to a person in real life, right? So I don't know what the ultimate outcome is going to be this, but one, shout out to both Joe Budden and Glasses for defending Doechii. Doechii hasn't really responded yet, right?
She did.
With the song?
With the song, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, she hasn't said anything, like, verbatim. She let her art speak for her. But even with that, it's like, dog, back up. You just feel like, because she's not your cup of tea. And I feel like Adin has enough problems, because he and Drake are being accused of payola, basically, within the stake thing, that they were sending in Bitcoin, $100,000 payments to this guy who runs a page called, oh my God, why am I blanking on the name of the page? It's like
a gambling page or something?
No. He runs, it's like something crazy, like N-word clan wizard or something like that. And he runs bot farms, and basically they are alleging that he was being paid with this money undetected by stake as a bank, so to speak, to utilize bot farms and to up Drake's spins. And they have some correlation to that. In addition to that, they're saying that, you know, the gambling money that Drake and the winnings that they were showing Drake and Adin were actually gambling with house money, not their own money that was given to them, in addition to the crypto exchanges that they can't really trace where some of these marketing funds and monies are going to. So that's why it's a RICO charge.
Crazy. And I think what's significant about this story, if I'm not mistaken, Adin Ross is probably, I don't want to say the number one, or he's like one of the top streamers.
Yeah. And he's a little MAGA leaning.
Is he?
Yeah.
And he talks a lot of hip hop, if I'm not mistaken.
He
right?
does.
So I just feel like what's dope about this is that I see the, I guess you could say the transition, so to speak. I don't know if transition is the right word to use, but you know, the whole stereotypes about black men not being, you know, supportive of black women or in defense of them when, you know, they're under attack or whatnot. You're seeing this being displayed right now. And, you know, the whole talk about gatekeepers in hip hop and how the gatekeepers in hip hop doesn't necessarily look like us. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is the transition period where you're actually seeing folks, you know, from the streets, because, you know, there's this whole thing about, you know, F the streets and all other type of stuff. But you have, you know, people from the community actually standing up and like, yo, this hip hop thing is ours. You're out of line. You keep on talking the way that you're doing, you're going to get dealt with. And I just think it's dope. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not really, you know, keen for violence per se.
Of course.
But I just like Glasses Malone standing up. There's been some other folks that's kind of been standing up, questioning Adin Ross and, you know, what's your angle? You know, where's all this coming from? So I just like to see everybody standing up.
And I appreciate it as well. And this connects to the Brian Austin Green, David Faustino. Shout out to DJ Black 909 in the chat for noticing the pattern and the connection. Like I said, all of these stories are basically somewhat connected. Is Adin of the hip hop culture? Oh, Lucas Frank? Oh, we might have to talk about your comment when we come forward. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If your car is out of warranty, one major repair bill could wipe you out. Just ask Ludacris.
Car breakdowns can wreck your wallet. Without Endurance, a worn-out timing belt could cost you $1,700. A busted transmission, that's $4,000 easy. An engine meltdown, $7,000. But if you've got Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a car repair again. With Endurance, your car's most expensive parts are covered. Plus, you pick the mechanic you trust to do the work. With Endurance, your rate stays the same no matter how many claims you file.
If your car is under 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan includes 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Choose the name Ludacris trusts, Endurance. Right now, get $300 off any plan, plus a year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. For your free quote, call 800-498-2843. 800-498-2843. 800-498-2843.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Sipping my kombucha on a rooftop, smoking Blue Dream on my Kama Sutra. Life is but a dream for a dark skin like me. Life gets dark when you're dark like me. Times get hard with a heart this big. Mouths get
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So I have to get to some of these comments in the chat, especially our guy Lucas Frank. He's lighting it up in there. He says, and I'm combining a couple here, and Ross isn't wrong. Doechii is definitely a plant. Same goes with Tiana Taylor, Lizzo, etc. All these movies they're getting and awards they're winning makes no sense. Lizzo should have been kicked out of Hollywood a long time ago. Any black man with her allegations would have been long gone. Tiana Taylor isn't even an actress. How is she even in a Leonardo DiCaprio and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson film? And now she's in a movie with Ben Affleck and the other white guy from Good Will Hunting. So listen, one, I feel like when you didn't see the grind of someone, you don't respect it or you feel like it's out of nowhere. Both Doechii and Lizzo, we'll use those two, had a long path of underground music, grinding for years and years. For Lizzo, her songs took off in a series. I can't remember if it was Netflix, Hulu, one of them, and it became an anthem kind of for white women. That's kind of what happened. And with Doechii, we saw there was a couple of different songs that popped up, right? I think when something isn't our cup of tea, we think it's undeserved. So we think that they were handed that. Who benefits from Lizzo and Doechii being out there? Because an industry plant denotes somebody has to benefit because of these actions. As far as Teyana Taylor, we've been seeing Teyana put in the work for years. Teyana is extremely creative. Now, you may question maybe her acting choices or how she's developing them, but she's professional from all accounts, right? Moldable, willing to listen and learn on set, and extremely creative. Creative director, fashion, music, stage shows, all of these different things. That energy is something other creatives want to connect with and work with. So I think that those three are a bad example.
Horrible example. All three of them, like you said, highly creative. And I think, if anything, these three artists, they push the boundaries of the status quo a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times Hollywood doesn't necessarily like that. That's why they get the ridicule. I don't listen to Doechii too much to know what her content, but I'm just going to assume that, outside of the ratchetness and the twerking and all that, she's just giving you something a little bit different. And I also think those three individuals, with the exception of maybe Teyana Taylor, doesn't fit the aesthetic.
Facts. And even Teyana, people have questioned at various moments, right? She is striking. She has grown into herself. But sometimes people would talk mess back in the day, too. It's kind of like we talked about last night with Clarissa Shields. It's almost a rite of passage when you're talking about Black culture and the Black community. I don't know, but there it is. Andy, do we have time to play the Cam Newton clip?
Yeah, we got some time.
All right. We're going to get into this Cam Newton thing about as much as we can. Cam says he likes to run women through tests. He was on a podcast with TD Jakes, and I'm going to tell you, not that TD Jakes doesn't slide this in there, what I feel Cam is really saying. So let's listen.
You've always had an audience. When all the audiences are gone and it's just you, what's going on in here?
I'm at peace the most. But there's a lot of me that asks the question, are you going to fight for me? Mm-hmm. Because when I was vulnerable to the individuals, that's family, that's friends, that's partners, are you going to fight for? That's what I'm most scared of. Because everybody in love, everybody want to walk down, everybody want to do all the festive marital stuff that the Bible don't even say. And when I call it out, I'm like, yo, the Bible ain't never mentioned no honeymoon. The Bible ain't never mentioned the ring. The Bible ain't never mentioned spending millions and thousands of dollars on a marriage celebration. The Bible didn't say a lot of these things, but if we're going off of the Bible's accord, there's a lot of worldly things that have crept into it. So now for me, above all, going back to the most impactful vow, for me, I want to know without a shadow of a doubt, for better or for worse. But don't just walk with me when it's for the betterment of you.
Yeah, I got it.
And I got that part. And as long as people understand that, when you are hurt,
come get me. Come.
I may tell, man, get the hell away.
But don't pay that no attention.
That's a character. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then some will say, "Oh, that's toxic. Miss me with that." It's like no.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah. They
when
got
it's really
words.
A test.
It's.
Will you come get me? It's really a test because your definition of love is proven by the other person coming to get you, and that way you don't have to worry about abandonment.
Checkmate.
I got you.
I take you through these courses just to see. I want it. This is the only way I can find out.
Yeah.
I mean, you call it how I see it, man. My father ain't raised no fool now. And I done got food before. So for me, I need to sit up here and say like, hey, hold on. I hate to do this to you, baby. I gotta see. You know what you got in me. The good. But I really don't know. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's not to say that I can't come along or come around to being that or everybody to understand that. It's like, yo, this journey,
It's a journey.
It's a journey, but it's lopsided until it's not.
So, really quick, I have a lot of thoughts about that, but, you know, it's celebrity paranoia as a lifestyle. Listen, we understand you got money, you're afraid of losing it, but you also have to look at your choices and how that impacts who you feel you can and can't trust, right? And why you feel that way. So, before you get a ring, it's okay to take her to the brink, but you're not giving her any assurances just for what you're saying is the financial security, because that's what you're pushing for. I understand not wanting to be abandoned. I understand being taken advantage of. And I understand that you basically said you want her to crawl and beg when you're upset to find out what's wrong, right? You're needy. I get it. You need your ego stroked. However, you got to be willing to try again, right? Because why should a woman stand there and get the abuse just for the money? Then she's really going to be in it for the wrong thing.
Just
because
know that
self-respect is not going to let you take it that far.
Women play hella games too.
They do.
Next time we have a Claudia Jordan clip or something like that, keep that same energy.
I do.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I do.
You know,
don't act like I don't.
Your voice
and
your octaves just went up super high for Cam. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like Cam is BSing ever so slightly. I believe he's been hurt. I understand he's trying to protect his funds and make better choices. But if you make better choices from the start, Cam, you may not have as much to fear. Right. I don't know. We'll see. You know, we can talk about this all day. But for now, a pin in that. Back tomorrow, 6 p.m. More trending topics and headlines. Up next, Zoe Williams.
Chance for romance, I'll show more love than you've ever known. Straighten it out and make love the way it should be. Oh yeah, one thing sure of, the love we have will grow. If at first you don't succeed, you got to
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The Trump administration plans to freeze more than $10 billion in social services funding to 5 Democratic-led states. Reports say the Department of Health and Human Services will